dangerous circuit on the season calendar. Weather conditions are far from ideal. All those in favor of racing?
It's the day everything went horribly wrong. In fact, it's the last time they had a Formula One race in that track at Nürburgring.
The race is on.
Every time I get in my car, there's 20% chance I could die, and I can live with it. But not 1% more. And today with the rain, the risk is more.
I ran into the season with a perfect car, Ferrari. I won most of the races before Nürburgring happened. And suddenly I was fighting for my life.
Today, we're filming at Nürburgring, and we're at the actual spot where the incident occurred. It's chilling.
Niki Lauda was trapped for almost a minute in a searing inferno of 800 plus degrees.
I think innately everybody understands that there's something extraordinary about this opportunity, and there's a responsibility involved as well to really try to get this right.
I feel responsible for what happened.
Trust me, watching you win those races while I was fighting for my life, you were equally responsible for getting me back in the car. I'm world champion, on the verge to become world champion again.
The closer you are to death, the more alive you feel. It's a wonderful way to live. It's the only way to drive.
Hey guys, it's your boy Jabberboy188 here, and as you saw that was the new trailer for the new Rush movie, which comes out this Friday. I am so hyped for this movie. I cannot wait to see it. I mean, the characters, you know, and the actors look really, you know, they really look alike to the actual guys that were racing at the 1976 season, which was Niki Lauda and James Hunt. And there was a premiere that last Monday, sorry, my bad. Yeah, really good to see a lot of good, drivers, you know, coming here to, you know, coming in to celebrate this great movie. And there hasn't been a movie for 2 years, since Senna in 2011, and before then, there hasn't been a Formula One movie since like the 1960s with this with the Grand Prix movie that I saw. You know, it wasn't that very good in terms of the dialogue and that, but it was so good in terms of the racing season. But now the dialogue that is now in Rush is much more better than that, and it's right up there in terms of a racing movie, and it's right up there in terms of, you know, Driven and Senna, which are my top 2 favourite racing movies. So yeah, that is, I mean, that, you know, I cannot wait to see it, you know. I'm so pumped, actually. So, yeah, I think I'm going to be seeing it this Saturday. Yeah, I think I'm going to see it this Saturday. I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I might give away spoilers probably later on its release, but not right now. So don't worry, folks. On my thoughts of the movie, I won't be doing it, so don't you worry about it. So, yeah, moving on to the 2013 Italian Grand Prix race review. Now, at the start of the race, in qualifying, my bad. I'm not going to talk about practice or Q1 because nothing really happened in practice or Q1, you know, to be honest. You know, it was just the usual thing going on. So, into Q2, Hamilton really struggling with his car and really having a hard time, you know, with himself. Really going off the road, surprisingly and weirdly, to be honest. And making stupid errors like going out at the last second. You know, I really do think that Hamilton, I'm not quite sure he went out early, but if he didn't, then I really think Hamilton should have gone out early. You know, because you know you get, you know, a bit more space. You can really, you know, get enough space, you know, to get a good lap in there. So I really think he should have done that, but you know, that's racing, that's life. You know, everyone has those sort of dull, dark moments, you know, in their career. So yeah, it's not the end of the world for him. And if he can, I really think, if he got into Q3, I really think he could have been on pole position. But that's life. Things happen. So, but also the Lotuses, the two Lotuses out of Q2, very very strange. I was expecting Raikkonen to probably be about third, fourth for qualifying, but no, strangely he was out of qualifying. So really really strange. I don't know what was wrong with the car. So yeah, really really strange that he was out of Q2 there. And then into Q3. Ferrari doing their little towing trick, which didn't quite pay off because Felipe Massa was too far ahead of Fernando Alonso to make the towing thing work. And then to be honest, what I think of it, I think it's a stupid idea. They did it in 2012, and now they're doing it this year, and I really do think it's a stupid idea because in 2012 it hasn't worked for them, in 2013 it hasn't worked for them. So I think next year they've got to scrap that idea and just do it themselves, just do it by themselves, because or even make their 7th gears longer, because that's what Red Bull done. I don't know if Ferrari done that, but I'm not quite sure. But I think that's a stupid idea because the guy in front that is towing the guy behind could have a mistake or something like that, and that could ruin the guy behind's lap. So, and also, it makes the other driver ruin his lap and have to help him, and it wastes a bit of time. So, it's just a stupid thing. I hate the idea of the towing thing, and it's not a thing that I would be doing if I was racing. So, yeah. And at the end, Jean-Eric Vergne ran wide at the exit of Parabolica and had a massive amount of damage. I thought he was going to be starting the pit lane, but no, he didn't. I think he started like 8th or 9th. I'm not quite sure because I'm not really entirely sure because that was because I'm not. I remember in qualifying, I always remember the top guys, but I don't remember sort of the midfielders, the midfielder guys, unless it's they did something important. So yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, at the end, Sebastian Vettel taking pole position, taking his 40th pole in his career and his 50th for Red Bull, and 50th for the Red Bull team. And really, really good job. Nice, clean, tidy, and yeah, not a bad lap at all. So yeah, moving on to the race. We got a bit of drizzle at the morning, but as the race was about to start, the track was dry enough for slicks. So that's what all the drivers did. They went onto slicks, and that was that. So at the start of the race, Sebastian Vettel got a good start. Mark Webber didn't and dropped to 3rd place for the second time of his career. And into the first corner, Sergio Perez cutting across Raikkonen down into the first corner, and that meant that Raikkonen went into the back of Sergio Perez, and that meant that Sergio had to go across the first chicane there. But happily he didn't gain advantage. So yeah, and then moving on, coming into the second chicane, Paul di Resta locking up his brakes, running into the back of a couple of cars, and that ended his race. Just a mistake. An easy mistake to make. You're coming into there from like 200, 210, something like that. It's an easy mistake to make, and I don't blame Paul for that little thing that he did there. It happens. This is I misjudged my brakes, at Monza a lot. So yeah, he's not the only one, to have this mistake. So yeah, so yeah, but just a mistake that he made. I don't blame him for that. You know, it happens. So moving on from that, Hamilton getting a slow puncher, and that forced him to go into the pit lane, and that dropped him down to 19. Bit of luck for him there, and then later on, Fernando Alonso pulling a beautiful move on Mark Webber. That was a sensational move. I think one that will go down in probably, maybe, if we're lucky, probably the 2013, you know, best overtake of the year, you know, because that was pretty big, you know, and it was so tight, you know. If Fernando made a little mistake, he would have probably taken out Webber and put him out of the race there. So really great accuracy there by both the drivers, you know, and also I was surprised that Webber didn't, you know, back off a little bit. I'm surprised when as soon as he came out the last chicane, if I was Webber, I would, you know, back off a little bit. But no, Webber didn't, and as a result, he got his right front. He's got his right rear wing, right front wing. Sorry, my bad. Taken off, and he had that for the rest of the race. So he didn't get that changed. He just had that for the rest of the race. So moving on from that, moving on for the race, Sebastian Vettel pulling a 5-second gap, and Alonso passing Massa up into second place, and then, you know, then into the first pit stop, Sebastian Vettel pitting at the usual pit stop that everyone was expecting, and but Fernando Alonso sitting out for like 3 laps, and as a result, that put him 10 seconds from the race leader, Sebastian Vettel. So it was really weird that Fernando did that, because it was very bizarre, you know, because, you know, Vettel is on a new set of tyres. Vettel is gonna be really going hammer and tongs on those opening laps of the tyres. So, you know, I was expecting, you know, Fernando to come in the lap after Vettel, but I heard that Fernando, what they were trying to do was to try and pit him in late, so that when Vettel's tyres went, he could close them down. But, you know, but to be honest, you know, you've got to be thinking about the gaps and all that, you know. So really bad misjudgment there by Fernando Alonso there, and the Ferrari team. And after that, Hamilton going on a massive charge from 19th to 5th, bar, you know, the guys, you know, pitting for their new tyres. And after that, he had to pit again to get in onto a new set of mediums, and he drove absolutely beautifully. And, you know, what a drive by Lewis Hamilton, pulling off those great moves, especially on Nico Hülkenberg. You know, it was especially on Nico Hülkenberg, because I know it wasn't that very good, but, you know, doing that at 150 miles an hour, that was very good. That was very brave stuff from him there. So really good job. And just, you know, I think this has got to be. I really think this is, you know, Hamilton. You know, I think this is Hamilton. You know, as we all know, you know, I absolutely. This is the reason why I love Hamilton. You know, he just does some sensational things, even in his, you know, darkest, you know, horriblest moments. He just comes out and just pulls the most coolest charges ever, you know, and yeah. So after that, Mark Webber closed up to Fernando Alonso, but he had to short shift because he had a gearbox problem. Really bummer for him there, because I would have loved to see him, you know, in second place, you know, or even maybe, you know, challenging for the win there. But no, he had to back off a little bit, but even though that he had to back off a little bit, he still kept up the pace of Alonso, and you know, really good job by Webber to keep up with him, especially with that gearbox problem, because you know, when I heard he had a gearbox problem, I was expecting him to lose about like 2-3 seconds to be vulnerable, and I was expecting him to be vulnerable to Massa behind, but no, he didn't. He just kept on going. He kept on trucking along. So yeah, really good job by him. And yeah, and then after that, back to Hamilton. Hamilton really going. I was you know, he had. I think that was his best charges I've ever seen ever. You know, he came. I think and on lap 48, he was like 13th, 12th, and he came through and he got it up to 9th place. And I think 9th was really far back. I was like probably 6 to 8 seconds. So really good job by Hamilton there. You know, really showing what that Mercedes can actually do. You know, race pace. I really do think if you started on pole, I really think you could have won that race easily. So yeah, really good job by Hamilton there. Massive, really good charge that he pulled off throughout the race. And yeah, and in the end, Sebastian Vettel winning the race. There, taking a back-to-back victory from Spa. Really good job by him there. You know, the Red Bull just looks absolutely amazing. It looks, you know, I really think Sebastian right now, you know, especially winning at his weakest track, I really do think Webber is just gonna Vettel. Sorry, my bad. Wow, sorry. Vettel is gonna win the championship because, you know, Singapore, Suzuka, Korea, India, they are just going to be tracks where he is just going to destroy the whole field, because the last couple of years, he's always won at those tracks. He's always done it. You know, he has always done it. And I really think it's going to be sort of a repeat of 2011, because, you know, remember, Vettel did had that sort of same thing going on in 2011. He won at Spa, he won at Italy, and, you know, he could win Singapore, Korea, India, who knows? But I think he's going to actually do it. I think he's going to run away with it, you know, come Singapore and the rest of the remaining races. Because I don't think these guys are going to actually stand a chance. That's going to be, that's sort of my prediction for the whole season. I think just Vettel's going to absolutely just run away with it, like crazy. So, yeah, folks, that is the 2013 Italian Grand Prix race review, and thank you very much for watching. It's your boy, Jabba Boy, when it here, signing out.